Not everyone that smiles in your face is for you. Not everyone who smiles at you really cares about you. And not everybody that helps you is helping you for the right reasons. So, hey, my loves, it's me, Lexi, and welcome back to our series, The ABCs of Toxic Friendships and Relationships. And in this video, we're talking about the letter H, hidden agendas. So grab a snack and come on back. Let's get into it. And as most of the traits are, they can be quiet, sneaky, and don't show themselves, right? Until the damage is almost done. And that's what we're talking about today. Somebody definitely needs to hear this, right? Like, wait, what? Somebody's going to say, what? That sounds familiar. Yeah, you know it. So let's get into it. A hidden agenda is when someone is dealing with you, but they're not being real, about why. They're not being real about why. They have a motive. They have a plan, an intention. And usually it has nothing to do with genuine love or friendship or support. It doesn't have anything to do with that. They're not really showing up for you, but they're positioning, right? They're positioning themselves. See, people with hidden agendas, they don't show up authentically. No, they don't show up authentically. They show up strategically, very strategically. They study you, they watch you, and they learn what you need, right? And what you like, and what you respond to. And that just happened to me recently. They know you. They know what pushes your buttons, right? To get you to, come at them and lash. They know, because they've been studying you for months, sometimes years. And, then they become that, right? They're studying you. They want to see everything that you're doing and how you react to certain things, right? And not because it's real. No, they don't care about you. They're not doing this because they're your friend and they want to be able, to say, listen, don't do that to her because, you're not being a nice friend or they don't have your back like that. They don't, right? It just gets them closer to what they want. It's getting them closer to what they want. It has nothing to do with them supporting you, looking out for you, having your back. Nothing to do with that, right? And you usually know it because something feels off, but you ignore it. We all do, because we don't want to believe that we have a friend who could do something like that to us. We don't want to believe it, right? It's like that little voice that says to you, something ain't right. But then what do we do? Right? Then what do? We brush it off. We say we're overthinking. We give people the benefit of the doubt. And all of us here do that. And we do that a little bit too much. A little bit too much. And sometimes that benefit, it costs us. It costs us our peace a lot of times. Right? And they wear their masks very well. The people who have hidden agendas, they they can act good. These are Oscar-winning performances. They compliment you. They support you on the surface. They laugh at you. Ah, girl. They show up for you. At least you think they're showing up for you, right? But it's all curated. It's all curated because behind the scenes, they're calculating. They're calculating, right? Their energy has that shift depending on what they need. So, you got to watch these things carefully, right? When they need something from you, they're present. And they're kind. And they're available always. But when they don't, they disappear. They're distant. And they're different. Have you noticed that? Right? When they want something from you, they right there. They in there. Right? But then they're like, you don't hear from them for days. Right? You don't see them. They start acting different. And you're like, what's that about? Or they're really distant. And you're like, well, what happened? What happened? And it's very inconsistent. It's that inconsistency with them, right? And it's not confusion at all. It's confusing for us. It's not confusing for them. It's not confusion for them. It's their intention. Their intention, right? They're gathering that information, right? It's not connection. You don't have a connection with this person. This person has a hidden agenda towards you, and they're just gathering intel. That's what they're doing. They're gathering intel. So you need to pay attention, right? You need to pay attention to the people who ask a lot of questions, because you have those. They want to know everything, right? And it's like, wait a minute. What? They want to know your plans, right? And a lot of times that's about, they want to know the things that you're planning, and what you want to do and all that. And then they turn around and do the same thing. They got that idea from you. So then when you go to do it, it looks like you copied them, right? You got to watch what you tell people, watch what you share. And they want to always know your next move, right? They always want to know your next move. And you think, oh, it's my friend. And, they want to help me and all that. Absolutely not, right? They don't invest in you emotionally. They don't invest in you, not like you do them. They don't do that. And they're not connecting with you. There's no connection. And you don't really see that, right? There's no connection. They're not connecting. They're collecting. They're collecting all the intel and all the information, right? And eventually, everything is revealed, right? The reveal always comes, Eventually, the reveal comes. And I want to tell you all the truth about this, right? Hidden agendas, they don't stay hidden forever. They don't. Hidden agendas do not stay hidden forever, right? Eventually, the mask slips. That mask will slip off, and the behavior changes. And then you start to notice, right? You're like, And the truth always shows itself. And that's what we've been saying during this whole ABC series, right? It always comes to the light. The dark always comes to the light, and you always find out who is for you and who is not. You always do. And sometimes it takes time, and it's devastating. It is when you think that somebody, you really think that was your true friend, and no. They've had it out for you since day one. You just didn't see it. You didn't want to see it. You didn't want to believe it. And when all this stuff happens to you, this is when you start replaying everything, right? You start replaying in your mind, and you're like, I knew it. I knew it all along. And then sometimes a little, it's late because it's devastating. You've said things and you've done things that you would not have done with anyone else but them, because you thought that was your bestie, right? Or that was your friend. Yeah. Or your significant other. This happens in many different relationships. So how do we protect ourselves from things like this, right? You don't have to become cold and, jaded. You don't have to become guarded. None of those things, but you do have to become aware. You do have to become aware. you know. Move slower with people. You know, as soon as we meet somebody, we're like, oh my God, yeah. You want to tell them everything and move slow. Move slower, right? Don't overshare too quickly. Don't do that. You need to assess things. And we all get excited when we meet somebody. We find a new friendship, somebody who we think is our kindred spirit, right? We got to take our time. We've got to take our time. Watch for patterns, not words. Watch for the patterns of how they behave. It's not always in what they say, but it's how they posture, how they gesture. Look out for that, okay? Look out for that. Trust your intuition. You know what I'm getting ready to say. What did my mother always tell me? Follow your first mind, you never go wrong, right? Follow your first mind and you will never go wrong. You never will, right? Trust your instincts. Trust them and your intuition. And most importantly, believe what you see, as Maya Angelou said. And I quote, when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. We never do. We're like, no, they wouldn't do that to me. That's my friend. That's my buddy. That's my this. That's my that. No, right? When people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them, right? Because not everybody who comes into your life is meant to stay. They're not. And this is something that I've been saying since last year. If you watch some of my videos from way back, there's usually a season finale on everything. You know, and it's unfortunate sometimes. I mean, I have some of my friends, right? One of my dearest and oldest friends, my beautiful Gooch, she's been my friend since she was 6 and I was 7 years old. Our mothers were friends, right? She's still in my life to this day. And no matter what, good, bad, or indifference, whatever, we may have a disagreement, anything, she is still my friend forever. Forever. I have my besties from when I was a kid, when I was a teenager. These people are in my life to this day. And it's unfortunate, though, and I try not to let this happen a lot. Or really, it's out of my control, but there are some times when we meet somebody new, you know, and we really want that friendship to happen, but it just doesn't always work out that way. And, you know, and I really dislike when that happens, but my friends that I've had since I was a teenager are still my ride or dies to this day. There's no hidden agendas. There's no animosity, right? There's no compete and compare. There's none of that, right? None of that is going on. There's no disrespect. There's nothing. I mean, we love each other wholeheartedly. And we can go months, days, months, sometimes years without talking. Sometimes, I mean, we talk, but we may not be able to actually talk on the phone or anything like that. You know, we may send a text or talk to somebody online on a platform or something. But when we do speak, it's like we pick up right where we left off. That is a true friend. And I have those in my life. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. You know, so grateful. But, you know, the beautiful thing is the more you grow, the more you heal. And the more you see clearly. Because we always have to remember that not everybody who comes into our life is meant to stay. Like I said, they're not always meant to stay. And not everybody who smiles at you is safe. They're not. You know, and it's unfortunate. But they're not. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, once you see, right, you can't unsee. But it makes you wiser. It makes you wiser. And you know how to move with people. You do. Because we don't have to change ourselves. We don't have to be sneaky and do all those things. We don't. We just have to be cautious. Slow it down a little bit. Dial it back a little bit. We know you're excited when you meet somebody new, especially on a platform, right? Especially here on YouTube, especially, right? We get so excited when we meet certain people and we have so many things in common and we just, you know, we want to talk to them all the time and every day and we think, oh my God, this is my new bestie and everything. And then the bottom falls out, right? So we just have to just dial it back a little bit. Use your discernment, right? Use your discernment. And remember that follow your first mind. It never leads you wrong. It never does. So I hope that something here in this whole series, we're already up to the letter H. I hope that, something here resonated with you, right? If it did, drop an H in the comments so I know that you were here and you stayed this far. Right? Drop an H in the comments. If it didn't resonate with you, that's fine. No harm, no foul. Leave it for someone else. Right? I want you to tell me, though, when you leave that H, tell me, have you ever dealt with someone with a hidden agenda? Did you know, though? Did you know? Let's talk about it. And you already know what I'm getting ready to say. I love you plenty. I see you. I truly do. And that's why I'm doing this series, because this is for you. And I'm so proud of you. And I thank you for watching this and enjoying, because I am having a ball doing this series. I am. This series is everything. It's everything. And, we have our next letter coming up. Our next letter is I. I is for insecurities. So that's going to be a good one, too. So I'll see you on the next one. Deuces, friends.